According to marine traffic data, tanker sailing under false flag hijacked in Gulf of Aden and redirected towards Somalia. Reminder, there were headlines in the morning that you had from UKMTO. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning. The tanker was seized by armed men near Yemen and hijacked tanker steered towards Somalia. It's being picked up by marine traffic data again. 1 minute to go down till we get the market on open imbalance data. Ten seconds. Market on open imbalance: S&P 500 sell side 223 million, Nasdaq 100 buy side 12.6 million, Dow 30 sell side 49 million, Max 7 buy side 1.2 million. US listed shares of Alibaba falling 5% after Q1 results. Strategy shares jumping 9.1% at the open.
Supermicro Computer shares up 2.8% as the board adopts recommendations to enhance export compliance program. So Alibaba ADRS drops 5.3% in the biggest fall since May 15th. Walmart shares down 8% after Q2 comparable sales miss.
Hey, yo, what's up, Tony? Oh, yeah.
Walmart sinks 8.7% in the biggest one-day decline since July 2022.
Hmm.
Crypto stocks advance as Bitcoin rises. Coinbase Global up 5.7%. Strategy up 5.7%.
Shit, you know the crazy thing is, I had an opportunity to go to get long at 80, and I didn't even take it because it didn't make sense to go long there. But boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I wrong. You know, I'm a get out of this. I guess when it comes to the ES, I had to accept certain things, and If I choose not to accept it, well, yeah, that's interesting. It didn't show this imbalance at all right here. I guess I have to make sure that I'm performing my own, because I can't really rely on this indicator. That was an imbalance right there that I didn't mark on the chart. Mm. Wow. Hey, what's up, Alfred? Mm. Yeah. You know, it's crazy that the ES, these are 15-minute candles, dude. That it's just so crazy that the ES just sucks like this. Mm. Hey, what's up, Greenery? Yeah, you wanna so the ES did me straight dirty last night, man. I couldn't believe what I woke up to. So you know how I was short last night from this range. They failed to break out. They broke down underneath the range. So I got in, I think at around like 40 or something, like right here. Around like 40 or something. Where was we at last night? Yeah, I got in around like 40, right? Man, tell me why this thing like literally stopped me out to the freaking tick last night and then does this shit right here. I seriously couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I had to make sure. I was like, damn, this shit literally came from my stop. It literally came from me. Hey, what's up, Santiago? So I guess I was right, but I was wrong. I was right, but I was wrong. All right, let's see if we can get a push to the upside on this pullback here. And the market is very slow this morning, so at least on the ES, and we're seeing the same price action on the Nasdaq. You know what, man? I don't necessarily care about that. I gotta trade the ES Nasdaq anyway. It's these 15-minute gaps that the market really responds to. So anything like a 1-hour gap or whatever, they don't necessarily respond to the market like that. They only respond to these 15-minute gaps. Okay. All right, so I got filled on that. So I'm filled. Let's see what we get here. I got filled to go long.
Voice news disconnected.
Voice news reconnected. Okay. All right, let's see if we can get a profit target here. Let's see. You say you're still waiting? You said we reversed from the London low on both the ES and the Nasdaq. That's why you didn't take the trade. When is London low? I'm not gonna put another indicator on here. London. I thought so. The London low. Okay, so yeah, I assume this was the low right here. This happened at 3 o'clock. Yeah. Yeah. I guess the market's trying to figure out what it's trying to do here. As per usual in this market. I mean, I guess it could reject here. That's probably why we're seeing so much resistance, because I mean, technically we did break that low. And this is like the retest of what London low, at least on the ES. Basically, it's basically a retest of London low. Man, that was 10 points right there, more than 10 points. You said at 144. You gonna go? Are you gonna take that trade to go short? Yeah.
Prime is going to be the US leading index change forecast of 0.1%, prime minus 0.2%.
Yeah. You know, isn't it amazing how like these levels just line up with each other? You know, but the more amazing thing about it is that our brains won't accept that. Is that easy for whatever reason. It's that easy. Mm. Mm. My stop is literally at the 50% of that imbalance right there. Mm. Well, I guess the market was battling between these two imbalances right here. It looks like I'm gonna get stopped out here. I guess not quite yet. Not quite yet, but it's probably gonna happen. I mean, with that big candle right there, it's okay. Hmm.
1 minute to go now to begin the data. According to a blog from Google, Google Threat Intelligence Group is tracking 3 distinct suspected Russian cyber espionage threat clusters. Ten seconds. 0.2%, 0.2% higher than the forecast of 0.1%.
Hold on, guys. Give me 1 second.
We have posted out the US leading index change report on the feed for you to read through.
So this is the move that worked. Man, it's just not hitting that damn target for whatever reason. Okay. All right, dude. All right. So price just basically retested London low and rejected. It was basically a break and retest. That's basically what the market did here. I mean, I would have taken the well, it would have stopped me out to the tick.
According to Tasnim News, Yemen drone attack on Najran and Aramco. So Yemeni armed forces targeted Najran airport and Aramco oil facilities using drones, and according to reports, the operation was fully successful. So Tasnim says that these attacks were a direct response to the violation of Yemeni airspace in Sada province by Saudi drones.
Oh man. Yeah. $76.70. 76.70. Yeah, this is definitely some boring price action. Especially on the ES, I can't make up things in my mind. On the Nasdaq, you kind of can. Oh, that's interesting. So we're seeing the Nasdaq bounce from actually, let me look at this real quick. I don't think there's any difference between the ES chart and the I'll just look at the I think I'm just going to move away from the ES chart, the MES chart. Well, actually I have to be on the ES chart actually, never mind. The MES chart. Won't be able to see my orders. Okay. Whew. So we did see a interesting. 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 Hmm. I'm really trying to think about what's going on here because this software is saying that the orb low is at 97, and I can obviously see that this 1 minute candle at 8:30 should be the low. This candle didn't wick underneath until after the orb was officially formed here. So this is my orb high, this is my orb low, and this is my orb high right there. Let me make sure there's nothing going on with the I mean, there's nothing wrong with the indicator. Yeah, it's doing what it's supposed to do. So my indicator on NinjaTrader 8 is telling me something different. I missed that run on liquidity right there because I trusted this software on NinjaTrader 8, and for whatever reason, this candle on the MES, it says that the low was at 94.25, but this candle, this low, is at 97, and this is the MES. This is also the MES. What's going on? Let me look at Top Step and see what they have for MES on their chart, because that's interesting that I'm seeing two different values that should have happened at the same time. Well, I guess yeah, so well, Top Step is TradingView, but yeah, Top Step is saying that on the ES, that 830 candle is at 97. NinjaTrader 8 is telling me that 830 candle is actually, the low of it was at 94. That's interesting. So now I can't kind of trust this this indicator anymore. Or unless it was just like a price discrepancy, I guess. And what a break and retest from. What a break and retest. What a break and retest. Mm. It's $49. You see- Yeah, Top Step doesn't like to send nothing in the email. Did you get an email, Alfred, or did it just randomly drop it somewhere? Yeah, Top Step, I guess they're against just sending out emails. Like regular people, even though you sign up for their stupid notification list. You know, Top Step did finally lock out their Discord. You had to be a verified trader. I'm not gonna do all that. That's just so stupid, man. This is stupid. This is stupid. They should have this available. Like, I signed up for the stupid freaking notification thing. They should just send it. So you gotta make 6,000. So this is basically. Damn, I should have took that 50% of that. Okay. All right, I'm gonna just start doing that. I'm gonna start taking these types of trades. I'm just gonna start taking these trades, man. Is that right there? Oh well. Yeah, that's 10 points right there. That's just so stupid. Of course. You know what, Alfred? And guess what? After just talking all that shit about freaking Top Step, about them not sending me the damn email, they just sent it to me. So I guess what they probably did was everybody in the Discord probably had first access to it, and then they just sent me the email at 9:20. So 2 minutes ago they sent me the email. Bastards. So it's a $1,000 static drawdown.
So the US is to back minerals projects with $500 million in grants, Energy Department to award the grants to 7 companies.
So I can't lose. So if it's a static, is it a growing static account? That's what I want to know. Is it that I can't lose $1,000 at all, or? That is actually interesting. You know what, Alfred, you gotta confirm with these kind of guys.
So seeing shares of retailers falling after Walmart results, you had Walmart shares falling about 9.2% set for the biggest single day
You gotta
drop
confirm
since May of 2022.
Because
So we also have Costco down 1.5%.
you know how remember when My Funded Futures was trying to be all cute with the intraday drawdown, talking about real-time drawdown instead of just saying intraday drawdown? You gotta ask, man. You can't even assume nowadays. You gotta ask.
So just keep an eye on then on the sectors of the S&P 500. Strongest sector is energy, up by 1.5%. The weakest sector is consumer staples, down by 1.74%. Five minutes ago, now to be the natural gas data from the EIA. Forecast is for a build of 14 BCF. Prior was a build of 36 BCF.
I'm gonna get 2 of these. I'm getting 2 of these accounts. Probably copy trade them, really. All right, I'm gonna copy trade these 2 with the ES. Trading small size, trading. Let me see. I got to determine how many trades, because if it's a static account, I mean it grows. So. No, it's not worth. It's actually I didn't check. I didn't even check. I'm about to say no. Didn't even check. I don't know. It says no profit splits, no minimum trading days, no consistency targets, no daily loss limit, no scaling plan. I'm not in the Discord, so I can't ask if but it doesn't say there's an activation fee to it. So I'm just going to assume that there isn't one. But again, that's just an assumption. Yeah, that's what I would do. But they made sure that you can't full port this damn or it's on the parameters. Okay, so let me make sure that I'm not logged in or anything before. Okay, there's no personal information being exposed here. All right, so I'm looking at the thing. So this is the parameters, profit target. I think this might be like a one-shot account maybe, because it doesn't say anything about, it says after payout. Yeah, okay, yeah, so yeah, it's one or done. Yeah, one or done. So you're not going to take and then there's activation free, or activation fee is free. So that answers your question. And it's one and you're done. So I guess how they're going to control these is you can only take one payout from this. Okay. Yeah, I'm a copy trade these two. Next week, Top Step brokerage, Top Step. And these accounts. Now I guess I'm at the point now where it's like, well, all right, we got one more minute into the initial balance.
1 minute to go now to get the natural gas data.
Honestly, I don't know. Okay. You know what I should do? I should look at what the hell happened at that at this 50%. So that was 91. At a 15-minute imbalance right there. All right, so I guess right now I'm just not in tune with the ES right now, man, because I'm not. It's not
Build
like
of
I'm
16
taking.
BCF, a build of 16 BCF compared to the expected build of 14 BCF.
It's not that I'm taking losing trades. It's just that it's not hitting my target, and then winners are turning to losers.
Connection lost.
So I guess where I'm trying to get in the market wants to bounce there, but it's not making a full rotation, which kind of sucks. But I should have been paying attention because this happened at that 15-minute imbalance right there. All those orders right there, all that volume. I should have been paying attention to the footprint chart right there. And that was probably your sign to get into that. All that volume. Or my sign to get into that. No. Hold on. Let me put it in the chat. Okay, yeah, this is what I want. Thanks, Alfred. He sent me the link so I can just put it in the chat. I don't even know. I don't know. Oh, what browser is this? Oh, that's the Brave browser. Thing just opened it, whatever the hell it wanted to open it at. Bastard. Like, god damn technology. God damn. Stupid. Just doing whatever the hell it wants to do. Okay, so this is that's the link right there. Alright, shit, no it's not, my bad. That's not the link. That's not the link. Hold on. Alright, whatever. Ah, shit. Dang. Dang, it's saying that, Hold on. Let me do this. Let me do this because it's saying that it's saying that it's too long. All right, try that link. Try that link right there. Give me a sec. It rejected right at the 50%. You know what? That's actually a two-legged pullback.
They have
into
put out the
resistance.
natural gas report on the feed for you to read through.
That and that pullback right there should actually be the short. Yeah, that's gonna probably work. But I'll probably work. Unless that was the drop right there. No, it was the drop. That was the drop. I guess we do have that imbalance above us. Okay. I'll just man, you got both the 200 EMA and VWAP kissing each other on this tick chart. probably won't risk that much on this trade. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm only shorting VWAP, honestly, on ES. I don't have that much confidence that it'll work, really. I'm only want to give this a few points of risk right here. I don't trust it. Yeah, it's VWAP, but I mean, it bounced from a bullish imbalance here. I mean, that could be a two-legged pullback into resistance, but
South Korea's President Lee met with SK Group Chair on Thursday.
I'll put it above that high right there to give it a fighting chance. Okay. There it goes. Okay. All right. Yeah. That's insane. All right, let me see how these top step how this top step okay. Well, I guess if I'm going to take a trade, I guess it'll be 50%. And that was actually a pretty good damn trade, man. That didn't take. All right. 13. And then I'll take that trade right there. $37.50. You know, the irony is if I got stopped out, if I'm getting stopped out of this position, I'll be 1 point away from a TP if I stayed in this one. That would be the irony of this trade. But all the EMAs are slow to the upside. I'm getting long at the 50% after the break, and this is the retest of the 50% of the orb. So we'll see what happens here. But yeah, if this thing stops me out, I mean, that's just the irony of this. It's just the irony, dude. It's like today I'm just not in tune with the ES today. Don't know how I got out of tune with it, but today's just not the day. Yeah, just engage with it, I guess. The bottom of that candle is 7. Top of that candle is 16.25. He says bouncing between the two ranges. At least that shit ain't not working today. I mean, the book is bullish right now. I mean, the Bulls are obviously in control right now, so I should be good, but the Bears are applying a lot of pressure right now. Yeah, it should be good. Oh, shit. See, I mean, we've been in winning trades all day. It's just for whatever reason, it's not going into at least 10 points for whatever reason. It's been stopping short at 7, so I might have to consider if I want to. I may want to consider ways around that. I don't want to increase my risk. Or maybe I just need to have like a bigger account, and probably should just start doing like 100Ks maybe. But I hate the idea of making 6K for no reason, just a passing account. I hate that idea. But I also hate the idea of having to trade in a certain way where I'm not making money either. God damn. Ha. Yeah, me and ES ain't friends today, man. She's been stopping me out like this all freaking day. Or I've been
Iran's foreign
getting this.
ministry, in response to US sanctions, says Iran will use all available tools and capacities to defend the Iranian people and protect Iran's national interests.
Well, they did reject that VWAP again. But them EMAs are holding strong. But this is also the 1 minute, so I have to take that with a grain of salt. I am looking at the 5 minute on a different, or the 15 minute on a different chart. And it's holding the 9 EMA on the 15. You know, I guess we'll see in hindsight, but I'm looking at a delta chart right now in volume, and there's so much bullish delta with no follow through. I won't be surprised if we see like a big drop coming up, because these past couple of candles have been bullish, and there's no follow through. There's little to no red candles or a red delta. So I won't be surprised if we see a big drop somewhere. Nah, NQ just be on that BS all the damn time. I'll trade NQ for entertainment purposes, but I'm not going to trade NQ for real. I'm not going to trade NQ on my personal account neither. Not even the nanos. The nanos is just a gateway drug to the MNQ. The MNQ is a gateway drug to the Nasdaq. But that does look like a... Yeah, the Bulls are struggling, man. The Bulls are definitely struggling, but that's a bearish 15-minute candles. I mean, that means something. Damn, ES is like that. ES try to straight up take me out right there. Like that. The ES, this how the job ain't done, the job ain't finished. Let me finish it real quick. Let me finish it. The ES is still trading inside of the 15-minute range right now. Still trading inside of that range, and boy. All right, so if we held the 50%, if this holds, it's obvious that the market is now going to go and make an attempt for the high, the orb high. It's highly likely we're going to get a false breakout here. It's highly likely that's what we'll see. I'll be surprised if this thing breaks out of the orb and continues. I'll be surprised. The Nasdaq. I mean, I guess the same can be said. The same can be said.
China and Switzerland agree free trade agreement removing tariffs.
Free trade agreement.
The Swiss government says that the deal grants access of Swiss investors to Chinese markets. With agreed deal, 99.8% of Swiss exports to China will be exempt from duties and half of exports earlier. Deal widens and strengthens provisions on environmental issues and workers' rights. Signing of agreement is expected in 2026 after final legal review. Also, we have
Also, you have what?
It's also with the US looking to sell $92 billion of 3-month bills August 24th, settled on August 27th. And the US to sell $79 billion of 6-month bills on August 24th, settled on the same date. They will sell $70 billion 5-year notes August 26th, settled on August 31st. Sell $44 billion 7-year notes August 27th, settle on August 31st. And sell $69 billion of 2-year notes August 25th, settle on August 31st. US Treasury says that results of 2-year note auction could lead to unscheduled reopening of 5-year notes if high yield at auction is between 4.375% to 4.449%.
There it goes. There it goes.
So to keep an eye then on the markets just after these headlines coming through from the US Treasury, seeing a little bit of movement towards the upside on the S&P 500. Not so much, a little bit of downside movement from the dollar, not so much there going on. Bond yields in 10-year space, slight decline, but again, not so much movement. Again, off the back of these Treasury headlines and the headline that the US Treasury says results of 2-year note auction could lead to unscheduled reopening 5-year notes if high yield at auction is between 4.375% to 4.499%.
I guess the market really liked that news then, huh? Come on, baby, give me that last target. I know there's gonna be a false breakout though. I like there to be a false breakout.
Besant says many underlying factors the market is not looking at. So Scott Besant's currently speaking on CNBC. Besant on bond says buyback could be more than $4 billion, according to CNBC. So again, Besant says buybacks could be larger than $4 billion than they had announced yesterday. Besant on bond says part of it is signaling.
Oh my
Besant
God.
says we have a big toolkit for the Treasuries market. Besant on bond buyback says we want to show that yields do not reflect underlying fundamentals. Besant says liquidity in 30-year point is especially poor.
Man, come on.
Besant on bond buyback says probably going to announce increased focus on fiscal consolidation.
Come on, hit that target.
It seems a bit of a further rise then in the S&P 500, bit of further decline in the dollar then off the back of the Treasury announcements that we had, and also Besant's comments as well that buybacks could be bigger than $4 billion than we had announced. Besant also says I and the budget director will be looking at it when talking about unveiling increased fiscal consolidation focus. Stocks Europe 600 index a raising decline to trade little changed. Besson says we can grow our way out of debt burden. And Besson says there's nothing magic about $40 trillion debt number.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, dude. Come on. Hold on, guys. Let me just take a walk. Give me a second. God damn.
Besson says that I expect tariff 2026 income will be similar to 2025. Besson CNBC says there is a very good chance we're seeing the peak of deficit.
Yeah. I mean, I figured that was going to happen.
US Treasuries pairing their days declines as Besson speaks. Besson says Vance's fraud task force could save hundreds of billions. Besson says the market got a little ahead of itself. Besson says the Treasury and the Fed would work together if there are any changes in the balance sheet. And Besson says rates have nothing to do with buyback decision. We would adjust to any kind of Fed bond runoff.
Okay.
Besson says on inflation that markers are saying that it will be low in the future. Besson on Iran says press conference on Monday is going to discuss actions. So you had yields briefly dropping on Besson Collins. Yield on 30-year last up 3.16 base points at about 5.227%.
Excuse me.
Besson on Iran says maximum economic pressure means likely not a kinetic restart. Besson says that we can continue getting ships out via the southern lane. Besson on Iran says there will be coordinated economic isolation. Also on Iran says oil markets are misinterpreting what economic pressure means. Besson on Iran says actions will curtail Iran's ability to take action through proxies. And that if nations insist on doing business with Iran, the US will enforce actions against them. And on Iran says they're going to have the toughest sanctions in history. Besson says there are a lot of reports of economic blockade doesn't work, and it will. Besson on Iran says we're going to collapse this regime. Besson on China and Iran says that it's best to have talks in private. Besson says that we would do China a big service to get with the program. So again, it would do a big service to China to get with the program. Besson on Iran says that I'm confident that everyone, including China, wants to see the Hormuz Strait reopened. Besson says US job numbers are quite noisy.
Man, that is just so frustrating, man. That is so frustrating.
Besson says we don't need as many jobs after immigration
That is
crackdown.
frustrating. That is so frustrating.
Besson says Budget Director Ward knows where we can cut back. Besson on the dollar says it's been stable. Besson says that the dollar has had a big run and we're going back to 2 months ago level. And we continue to have a strong dollar policy.
Yeah, that shit's going down.
Besson says it's going to be a couple of exciting weeks and months on fiscal news.
Shit's going down.
Adding underlying economy is very strong. Besson says the only inflationary impulses are from energy and it's temporary. Besant on G20 says our message is global growth is the way to take care of debt.
I'm gonna probably try a short here at the 50% of the orb. I'm gonna try a short, try for a short, maybe. It's probably not looking like the best idea. Like the bulls are starting to act up a little bit.
Besant on bonds in the US says we will see what the conditions are and whether more action is needed. We need to focus on the fundamentals.
Okay.
Benson says that we don't want people to trade headlines in a thin market. And one US bond says we're trying to keep the market in equilibrium.
You're not doing the best of job then if that's your goal.
Also adds that there is a lot of corporate bond issues that are yield agnostic.
Well, you know what?
It's also interesting that corporates are issuing at the long end. Sebastian on US bonds says, I would think about companies issuing more than 5-year debt.
You took a loss, Santiago? When did you get in?
Adding that if I were a corporate officer, I would look at the belly. Besson says that corporates are posing competition for capital.
Obviously, I probably should have got in at that imbalance right there.
Besson says that corporate investment will boost productivity growth.
Probably should have got in right there. 950. What's that volume cluster right there?
That concludes Besson's interview on CNBC.
Where's the high of that candle? 709.
So just a heads up, Besson, well, now that Besson is done, that Muslim was also due to speak on CNBC.
All right, let's see if we can get a profit target for real this time. I'm not gonna lie, man. That is just so frustrating. The ES just has been, yeah, me and the ES we ain't on the same page. I guess, see, that's what happens when you start talking to one girl, man. She start acting up, man. She think nobody else want to fuck with you for real, so she start acting up. And she literally missed my damn target by a couple of, like literally 2 ticks, man. 2 ticks, and then I get stopped out. After not going to target, and then she pushed up so fast that I don't know if it's these platforms that are doing it, but the platform didn't, I guess it waited, because my stop should have been pushed up and started to trail, but it waited for it to calm down. Then my stops popped up. And
Besson on bond moves, just the last tidbit, says anything in 24-hour period is noise. And now he's speaking to reporters. So again, Besson on bond moves says anything in 24-hour period is noise.
That's just been frustrating. You know, Alfred or somebody will probably say, well, you just could have took the profit, Sherm. No, damn it, I want my damn target. I don't got that target there for no dang reason. I want my target, damn it. I want to be vindicated. I want my damn target. Anything less than that is unacceptable. Let's see. Where can we go to? Because it's obvious that we're going to get a or break to the downside. We had a failed break to the upside, like I figured, because there is no way that the market is going to be this bearish and we're going to see an or breakout. So now that we failed to take out the highs, this is basic range rotation. We're going to take out the lows. The question is, how low do we go? How low do we go? Ah, dang, I took you out before the short. Yeah, see, and that's that BS on the NQ, man. Unfortunately, it's that BS on the NQ. It didn't even touch. Well, I guess in hindsight, we did get a rejection off of VWAP, and I think that's what the market wanted. But we also seem to have gotten a rejection from this 15-minute bearish imbalance right here. Seems like it tapped into it again, and that's where we're seeing the rejection here on the NQ. It's definitely going to take out. But we'll see, because it failed. It didn't even retest the high, the initial balance high. I mean, it's a failure. So now we're rotating towards the lows. I don't know if we see a failed breakout here or what. It's highly likely that, I mean, we might get a swipe of the session low, and then it might push back up and probably come back into the range, maybe. But remember what I said about the delta chart? We had all this bearish delta.
That concludes comments from Bess and two reporters.
We had all this bullish delta with no follow through, and there was no selling. So that tells me that we could see a big move down. We could see a big move down here. We'll see. It'll all be in hindsight, but for right now, that is my, that's going to be my, I don't want to call it a bias, but I'm going to assume that's what's going to happen here. It doesn't have to do it in this session. We can obviously see the continuation for Friday's session to the downside, but that is one thing that is clear. We'll see. And now I know it's not me. It's just the Nasdaq. It's the Nasdaq that's the toxic one. It's the Nasdaq. I mean, even though the ES did me dirty like that and missed my target by a couple of ticks, I did not have no desire to revenge trade and to get my get back or any of that shit. I have no like all that behaviors disappears when I don't trade the Nasdaq. It's something demonic about the Nasdaq then. There's something demonic about the Nasdaq. I'm not emotionally hijacked or anything. I'm just frustrated that price missed my profit target by a couple of ticks. I'm frustrated, but man, beyond that, my mind was like, well, we just got to go to the next trade.
It's Muslim now speaking on CNBC, says strong growth and investment is influencing the bond market.
All right,
Fed
so
credibility is not in question.
The Fed's credibility is not in question. Anyway, so looks like we're coming back to that opening candle right there. We got a bounce off of the bottom. Looks like that kind of a double bottom right there. The opening candle. We'll see. See, the market's just been going 7 points in my direction and bouncing. 7 points.
Fed's Muslim says the Fed is focused on making monetary policy independent of fiscal policy.
I guess technically,
Competition for capital is affecting the bond market.
I guess technically, what I might have to probably start doing is if I don't get the exact top of a leg, I have to measure out.
Policy is neutral or accommodative at the moment.
I have to consider 10 points because they took points or they took profits at 10 points, and we saw that bounce.
Surely expecting the 4-week bill auction data, prior high yield of 3.65%, prior bid cover of 2.77. Reminder, the US is looking to sell $110 billion of 4-week bills. Muslim says financial conditions are pretty accommodative right now. And the number one concern of the public is inflation.
Okay.
Muslim says businesses are facing high input costs.
Well, I'll keep that for next time. It did pull back to the 50% of the orb. I don't start positions at the 50% unless it's a break and retest. We kind of already got that. We already got the break, and this was the retest right here. And the bulls or the bears failed to take it lower. Like I said, I don't start positions here. I'm considering adding to this position, but I probably won't. If it was a retest of the high, yeah, the 50%. No.
Fed's Muslim says Super El Nino might be the next supply shock.
Super El Nino? Isn't the super the sun? I wonder what that's about. Super El Nino. All right, guys. I'm out of time for this session. I do appreciate everybody that joined me this morning. We'll definitely come back later on tonight, and we'll definitely look for more opportunities to earn some more money. And with that said, peace out, everybody, and keep on jabbing.